So here we have a cautionary tale for all teachers. Here we have a teacher who made a mistake, and they should have consulted either the custodian or the principal who's in charge of things pertaining to the building. Because as I'm sure most of us teachers know and understand the frustration with not being able to nail things into the wall to hang up motivational posters and frames and different things like that in our classroom out of concern for asbestos. So let's check this out. This teacher made a mistake regarding asbestos exposure, possibly. Sixth graders stage walkout to protest teacher's reassignment after carpet controversy. Well, let's dig in a little bit more. We have a school community rallying to bring back a beloved teacher in Sacramento, California. Sixth grade teacher's reassignment from her California school over removal of a carpet in her classroom has prompted protests and a walkout from students and parents. The controversy began at the end of last school year at Sacramento's Phoebe Hearst Elementary when the school experienced a flea infestation. It was then, according to parents, that Rupert pulled up part of the carpet. Now, Rupert that's the name of the teacher. Miss Rupert pulled up part of the carpet. Hey, we've got a flea infestation here. That's a serious issue. And man, I think I'd be calling off for a few days until that's taken care of. Let me know in the comment section, what would you do? How would you respond if there was a flea infestation in your building? I want to hear from you. But according to Sacramento City Unified School District, the carpet covered tiles containing asbestos, which, if exposed, can cause health issues such as lung cancer and mesothelioma. Wow, I pronounced that right. It is not certain whether Rupert knew about the asbestos before moving the carpet. Of course she didn't. Of course she didn't. This was an honest mistake, but it's a cautionary tale for all of us. You got to be careful, especially if you're teaching in an older building. Just consider that before you start to hammer something make a hole into a wall. It could be dangerous. Brian Heap, Sacramento City Unified School District spokesperson, told the news that he spoke with the district facilities team, who told him that having asbestos tiles underneath carpet is a pretty standard way that this has been handled over time in terms of being able to kind of cover up those asbestos tiles and keep them from being exposed. He added, as long as they are not broken or damaged, they aren't posing any kind of safety threat to people. So it seems like we're okay. Parents maintained that Rupert had repeatedly asked the district to remove the carpeting, but her request allegedly went unanswered, so she and some students pulled it up. I get it. I definitely get it. You know, when we want something done in our classroom, we got to put in a work order. They're buying some time with that. When you ask for something to be done, did you put in a work order? Oh man, you didn't put in a work order. Well, go ahead and put in a work order, and that'll buy me a little bit more time to delay. So, with these things, you just gotta be careful. You have to be careful. It actually made a lot of sense to me that she would rip up the carpet, said a parent whose two children are enrolled at Phoebe Hearst. I don't think she was thinking of it as destroying property. I think she was thinking of it like, I'm just going to replace this with the tile underneath. In a statement shared with the news on September 4th, the district said that an investigation determined that none of the asbestos tiles underneath the classroom carpet had been damaged when students were present. The removal of the carpet did not cause a disturbance that would cause exposure to asbestos. Nonetheless, now that the investigation is complete, district staff will begin the process of reaching out to individual families to reassure them of their student safety and provide any necessary support, the district added. However, Rupert, who had taught at Phoebe Hearst for 20 years, was reportedly transferred to another school, much to the displeasure of students and parents. Now, definitely here in this story, we have parents who are for her, who support the teacher, but definitely on the other side, I'm certain that the principal, superintendent were probably fielding calls from really concerned parents about asbestos exposure and having the kids actually help remove that carpet. So that's a tough situation to be in for an administrator. Our school is heartbroken, and I think it will break the Phoebe spirit, said this parent. On Thursday, September 11th, students protested her reassignment outside the district office with chants, bring back Rupert, and signs reading, we want Mrs. Rupert back, and Phoebe needs Rupert. So People Magazine has not immediately been able to contact her for comment, but while at the protests, her mom said her daughter misses her classroom and that she loves those kids. Janine couldn't be here today because of the restrictions that have been put on her. That's Mrs. Rupert, obviously, added her father. So her parents were there to support her. Wow, that's awesome. But she would like to thank all the people for the support. In a statement shared with the news about last week's protests, the district said the board remains confident in our personnel process and in our staff's commitment to serving the best interests of our organization and community. So they're not backing off the decision. That's what they're saying there. On Wednesday, September 17th, same outlet reported that Phoebe Hurst's sixth grade students walked out of class to further protest her removal, then proceeded to demonstrate with their parents. Wow, these kids they are committed. In a statement shared with People, Heap said that Sacramento City Unified School District does not comment on personnel matters, blah, 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 blah. District investigation decision was made to reassign the teacher to a different school. So they're not backing down. But I think at the very least, what we can take from this is there you see the kids protesting. They want their teacher back. Sadly, I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to get their way here. They're not going to get their way here, but at the very least, they showed the teachers some love. And as teachers, we love to see that. We don't always immediately see the fruits of our labor while we're working with students. A lot of times it's long after the students have left our classroom. We may run into them or may get a Facebook post from them or something like that saying, oh, thank you. I really appreciate what you did. But so the teacher is still working for the district, and they can see that, Janine Rupert, she can see that she absolutely did make a difference, and her kids miss her, and it's unfortunate what happened. So what can we take from this? What we can take from this is we need to be cautious, especially if we teach in an older building. We need to be cautious about, nailing things on the wall, possibly doing any kind of work in terms of removing carpet. We need to be careful about that, and that needs to be part of our calculation as we think about how we want to reorganize, decorate our room. That's just got to be something that we think about. It's a legitimate concern, and we just want to be careful. We want to be safe overall. So that's a tough one. If there's any update to that, I will definitely share that with you. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next update.